What's up YouTube, this is Fate, bringing you a Banlist reaction video. And I gotta say, with the extended hiatus that I was on, I was not expecting to be up to date on Banlist reaction videos. I was fully expected to be a list behind a little bit on the uptake, but I guess that's one positive about Konami taking a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna stop myself right there. There's no positive with the extended format. It did drag on a little bit too long, but anyways, I'm going to give you my few takes on this ban list right here. And without further ado, let's go right into it. And first thing I see right here, or saw right here, I did take a brief look at this before, was Magispector Unicorn Kieran now banned. And I got to say, against a lot of those Pendulum decks out there, I am very much liking this hit, just for the fact of not having to worry about a Kieran on boards to try to play around as best as possible. Also, at the same time, without being able to Raigeki it, or use Raigeki against it, was starting to become very annoying very quickly as time went on with some of the normal outs I use with my playstyle. And with some of the other things I can do with link summoning, I think this is one thing that I don't hear too many people talk about with Magispector Unicorn and link summoning. He's not that affected by that new ruling, mainly for the fact that he can bounce himself to the hand, and he still specials himself through Pendulum summoning from the hand to a regular monster zone. He's hardly ever coming from an extra deck zone. So even with the slowed down effects of link summoning, Kieran is one of those very few Pendulum monsters that is unaffected by that with that insane bounce effect. So for Kieran to get knocked down right now, I am very thankful about it. Next one that I took a look at here was the Tyrant Neptune. And this was one of the pieces of evidence that I had been out of the game for a while or not been paying enough attention to the OCG. Because apparently there's this Towers OTK to make Neptune this ungodly powerful monster, but I personally have not seen anything along those lines of combo videos and such. I do not care to look at anything like that. I'm thankful that I will not get to see that against me in the TCG. Pretty much my thoughts on that one. And the last one that I saw was Vanity's Emptiness going down to 0 as well. This was expected. That Konami had to take away this win button for various reasons. I mean, this card can net you wins by itself. However, the other side of this, with me and my many decks of deck building, for those of you that know how many decks I run, this was a very painful hit. Trying to make all of those updates to my builds that needed a replacement to Vanity's Emptiness, and I had to go down in quality because there is no replacement to Vanity's Emptiness. That's how good this was, and very good reason why it got hit. Now going down to the limiteds, Max C. Now I did watch a little bit of Phoenix Flair's video and a couple of other people's opinions on this as well. Kind of how Max C was both a deterrent to the game for those hyper speed decks, but at the same time there's reason to it going down to 1. I can't really agree nor disagree with that. Even though the Maxi can net you those wins itself with the Maxi challenges if your opponent is unable to put you down, I still don't think it's powerful enough to warrant the hits down to 1. Mainly because it was a deterrent to prevent your opponent from OTKing you that much often if you do get that key hand trap where you didn't have it before. And now with Maxi unable to provide that as often, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out for this next format. Rescue Cat. going up to one from being banned. And as far as this is concerned, I have seen the errata to this effect. I'm a little kind of wavery on that, if that's even a term. But I do see what Konami's trying to do with the whole money grab that it likes to do with A, reprinting the cards with errata effects that were once banned, and also B, that's the opening sets with the link summoning is going to have rescue support. So there's a double positive to this on their end. As far as healthy positive to us on the player base, that will be seen in the future. Now, in the meantime, one of my other favorite friends is back off the ban list in Bryak, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This was my go-to synchro when I was very heavily using nothing but Flamvell and TGs because it was so easy to make level 6 out of those decks, use Bryak's effect, bounce whatever cards I need, spam those monsters back. It is a very good reason why Bryak had to get errata nerfed the way it did. However, I do still consider this a very powerful card, even with the errata, because all it does is you have to carefully plan out how many cards that you want to return at that one time. You can't just do a little here or a little here or a little there, which made it notorious in the first place. Now you have to commit with one way or the other, but at the same time, as far as Bryak's overall power, I'm loving that they didn't do too horribly much to its bounce power, and I'm going to love it when this card comes back. I'm going to hate facing it, but I'm going to love using it. Brain Control, pretty much the same type of feelings on that errata coming off the ban list. Now here's another errata off the ban list, up to one that I'm curious about, Future Fusion. And I'm actually wondering how much exactly Dragon or Chaos Dragons will actually come back into the format. Because reading this effect earlier, they did severely slow down this card where you don't get to send the monsters right away. And having that one card neg for the 2 turns in a very quick format, this card might not see nearly as much play as most people are banking on. I will understand why people will want to test this out with Chaos Dragons right away, see if they can get up and working. But as far as in the meta, YCS tops and whatnot, this is one of those cards that I do not expect seeing too much in the future at all, with so many faster builds out there right now. And Imperial Order, the last card coming off from being forbidden to up to 1, and this is one of those cards that I didn't see the errata effect at all, so all I can do is speculate. However, even not knowing the effects, knowing the murmurs out there and the deck lists, this is all over the place in the OCG, has me thinking that it's going to be not powerful enough to stay from being forbidden for quite some time. But this is one of those cards that I've not seen rise from 1 anytime soon. So without knowing its full effect, that's pretty much all I can say about that one. Next to the semi-limiteds, Wisdom Eye Magician going from 1 to 2 on the list. I gotta admit, this alone makes me want to play test with Magicians a little bit more, even with the Link summoning variants. I've got some ideas that I want to test around a little bit, and Wisdom Eye Magician will definitely help with that. So giving that a little bit of bump to Magicians when I'm already playing on testing with them, this is definitely going to be a good one to see what it does in the future. My thoughts on Zodiac Raptor. All of those combos are still out there. Not the more consistent combos anymore, but Zodiacs inherently can do so much already, and just Zodiac Raptor down to 2 hardly touches the deck at all. Why am I going to be facing Zoo so much still in this format? I'm just going to... it's going to be painful. I can't say anything else. It's going to be painful. And Interrupted Kaiju Slumber down to 2. I saw this happening. In fact, another YouTuber, I think it was Capital G that mentioned this, with having the 3 various powerful effects. Actually, Capital G, Phoenix Flare, Cyber Knight, I think all of them mentioned it at some point. Having 3 strong effects, a Dark Hole, a Special Summoner with the stronger monster being on your side of the field, and a Searcher. This card didn't need to get hit in one shape or form, but I'm glad that they only hit down to 2, which means it can still at least fight back against some of the faster plays in established fields, and you will still see this card more often than the OCG. And before we get to Sengen being no longer on the ban list, this is painful BS right here. I love Dragoonides. Put Ravine back to 3. Please. It has not done anything since Dragon Rulers. I am in full agreement with that. Give us our one engine that allows Dragoonid players to fight back to full power. But at the same time, I am dreading this and dreading the thought of this, that we might not see Ravine go back up to 3 for another couple ban lists. The one reason why? They did the same thing to Gladiator Beast Bestiari. The exact same thing. And something tells me that Ravine will follow down the same path, so this is going to be a painful footnote to the ban list for a very long time. But anyways, Sengen, my 2 thoughts on it. Even though it's underrated, the fact that it has been growing a little too slow for the game. But at the same time, the fact that, like with DMAC, they put from being banned back up to 3, it's going to create some very interesting builds out there. I get the feeling some certain Ghost Trick Stall builds from a certain friend of mine, because their effects won't activate on that same turn anyway. But anyways, good to see you back, Sengen. And that is my ban list reaction video. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Until next time.